three. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Everybody, welcome to a special edition of Teaching Crypto, midweek edition here. This is AZcrypto and MrFOMO. Please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, share. Super chats are available. Anytime you can help us out, it is greatly appreciated. MrFOMO, we got to clear something up because there has been a bit of a bad news cycle in crypto the last 48 hours. However, what normally happens is when you unveil the curtain, you see it's not quite as bad as it looks a lot of the time. So I wanted to share this and we want to talk about this because when I first read it, I'm like, well, this is not good at all. And then I got some context. And this is, sometimes when people post stuff and they don't completely tell the whole story, it's misleading. So this is talking about how Chase Bank is banning money going into crypto starting October 16, 2023. If you're making a payment related to crypto assets, we'll decide if we'd like to basically they're saying you can't do it with Chase Bank, right?
Yeah.
Now
they invite you to bank somewhere else if you would like to participate.
This is a big problem if you're for the new people that have Chase that would go into Coinbase. But then I did get some clarification that this is and it's to combat fraud, which is all over the place, right? But I did get notification that this was only for the UK. Not good, but not devastating like if it was for the US, right?
Yeah, I have to admit, when you sent this to me, it was a bit of a gut punch for me. I was like, wow, gosh, what if some of these other banks start following suit? What if Bank of America does it? But I have to admit, finding out that it's just in the UK is a little bit of a relief. But yeah, they basically are saying if you live in the UK and you want to invest in crypto, you are welcome to bank at any other bank except for Chase Bank. That's basically what that letter said. And that's one way of going about it, right? Like one way of going about getting rid of fraud for your customers is to go completely nuclear and take away their rights and not allow them to participate in one market or another. And, instead of doing due diligence, instead of offering custody for your customers, instead of doing anything ethical or responsible or anything that involves any kind of freedom for your customers, why not just lock them down, tell them what they can spend their money on, tell them what they can invest in and what they can't invest in. And then, I really, to me, this is a bad move by Chase Bank. I understand what they're trying to do to stop fraud, but I would be furious if I lived in the UK and I banked with Chase. I have a feeling that I would already know that they were not crypto friendly if I lived over there. But this is just ugliness. It's like we always talk about the school system and artificial intelligence and their inability to adopt it. This is the same thing. This is coming down the pipeline. This is the future of not just currency, but it's the future of technology. Blockchain is here to stay. It's got a foothold. Why not embrace it? Find the projects that are good for your customers, that are worth investing in, and then offer custody for your customers.
Well, my guess is they've had a lot of their customers that have fallen for phishing attempts. I was listening to the broadcaster, one of the broadcasters in the play-by-play with the Cleveland Browns, and his Coinbase account got hacked. And he was talking about it on the air. None of this is good for the space. Now, he did get his money back from his bank. His bank blanked the transaction. But what Coinbase told him is, hey, we can't do anything. The Bitcoin's been bought. and so, that is a problem, Mr. FOMO.
And that's unfortunate. I don't know that Coinbase saw it that way because...
Well, that is their policy.
These are on-chain transactions, though. They can follow that Bitcoin. They can keep going until they find it. Right?
Yeah, but they can't undo
They can't undo the transaction, but they can get the interested parties in front of.
Their policy, Mr. FOMO, is this. Let's make it clear. If your account gets hacked and it was because of a password that someone got from yours, they don't consider that their liability, and they're not going to spend time chasing that Bitcoin from wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet to wallet, because
Isn't that
the reality
that they have the know-how and the capability to trace that Bitcoin on chain and to know where it went, to know who they sold it to, and to be able to say, hey, I know you bought this Bitcoin, you're going to keep your Bitcoin, but we're going to find a way to get the Bitcoin back to this other person, and the transaction that was made, we're going to nullify it somehow because it was made on Coinbase, right? I don't understand.
I don't think you can nullify it, because once someone buys the Bitcoin and they send it somewhere else, it's over. And that's what I'm
But
trying
you
to
can
tell you.
I mean, at least notify the authorities of
Now, if
who's
they're
doing this,
now,
where it came from, what's the IP address, something. Just don't bury your head in the sand.
yeah. That maybe they're doing. But now, if that person still had the hacker kept the Coinbase account active and kept the Bitcoin on there, then yes, they could retrieve it. Absolutely. But once it leaves Coinbase, it's completely out of their. They can track, but that Bitcoin might be spread out over 10 wallets that might sit there for years and years and years and years. So, luckily for him.
I mean, what happens?
He
What happens in the U.S. when you buy goods that were stolen from someone else? What happens to those goods? Right, that person who they were stolen from still has a right to those goods.
Yeah, and that's something crypto, that has to do with how do we deal with fraud?
I
Still
really
the
have a
problem.
feeling that Coinbase is going to end up accepting liability in the end, because it was their website that was hacked, and then to just turn around and say, man, nothing we can do. I think that's going to come back to bite them.
They are if your password on Coinbase is hacked, they're putting it on the customer right now. They're saying it was on your end. That is their policy. I can tell you right now. And again, if the Bitcoin is still on Coinbase, yes, they could do something. But if it's not, what they could have done is return the 30K that was stolen from him. They instructed him to call his bank. Now, luckily, he got the transaction canceled. As you know, there's a grace period before the transaction becomes official. He got it transferred before midnight that night, before it had gone through. Otherwise, he would have to wait. Said he would have to wait at least several months to get some type of result back. And most banks do deal with fraud. Like, I think he would eventually gotten the money back, but it was a lot of money to be missing from an account. And so, again, we talked about this before. Fraud's something that has to be dealt with. Now, I do want to talk about something positive, and you're going to bring up the chart here for us. And that Bitcoin is really holding strong. It is September 27th. We really could use, for so many reasons right now, a good October. And I think we're going to get one. 26, we're pushing 26.7. This is great news. There's been a lot of FUD, including the chase. We don't want to bring up BitBoy too much, but that was all over Crypto X and YouTube as well.
That was a nightmare.
And so
I
nice
really hope that this guy gets help, because I don't want to see another video like that online. And I hope that he doesn't think that people that are tuning in to see him melt down are his fans. Those people are not your fans.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. And, hopefully he does get his help. And hopefully also the whole industry could use a green October. Like I said, I really think psychologically, forget about price action. Yeah, you want Bitcoin to go in the up direction before the holidays, before we expect a little bit of a drawback before the halving. But psychologically, I think we could use some positive momentum here. And right now, pushing 26.7. There we go, right? Live on the air. That's why you tune in. 26.7. Hopefully. Well, going back and forth. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. But good news, though, here. If we can get to 27 before the end of the week, before October 1st, that would be really great. Really great. Again, we'll do a prediction show, I think, on Fun Friday, we'll call it, for what Bitcoin's going to go in October. I really like us to reestablish 30 at some point minimum if we can hold this right here. This is great what we're seeing right now live before our eyes.
Yeah, I this is what we predicted earlier in the week. We said this is going to be a good week for Bitcoin here at the end of September, going in October, and you're seeing it live on the air on Wednesday. You know, that green started just a little bit before we came on, and it is pushing through. We still have some key levels that we've got to get past. 27.1, I think, is still a pretty significant local level. And so I'd like to see us push past that and hold. If we can capture some of this momentum throughout the day, I'd like to see us push past that and hold. And then that next major level is the 29 and 30 level that we coiled up at way earlier in the month. And I think that we're looking good right now based on these charts, based on what we predicted, based on what we thought was going to happen. Looks like it's coming true.
And we're going to have a fun show on Friday. Do not miss that one, because we're going to give some short-term predictions for those of you that want to make some money in the short term for not for financial purposes, for entertainment purposes only. Gotta watch my words this morning. So, Mr. FOMO, one more thing to talk about, and this is something that we brought up on Monday, and that was Chainlink with some positive momentum. Now, this chart, Mr. FOMO, guess what this is? This is just the daily. This is just the daily. Because when we left you on Monday, Chainlink was in the 740 range. Look where it is now, 764. It was 6 earlier this month. This is one, and this is kind of foreshadowing a Bitcoin move, in my opinion, to see a big alt. I'm not talking, this is not a low market cap no one's ever heard of, where a lot of little money's coming in. It's got some positive momentum. This is something that's been trending in the right direction now for almost 2.5 weeks. And really got some great momentum. And then if I show you the 7-day here, you'll see the 7-day looks great. This is good. This is good. And I don't want to give away Friday's show, but I anticipate Chainlink's not done running here. Definitely not for the month of October. I don't think you're going to see all the alts run with Bitcoin in October. I think you'll see a select few make some nice runs. And this is one that seems to be front running right now.
Yeah, up 12% over the last 7 days is a pretty good showing, especially with Bitcoin mostly chopping sideways during that time. And that's now you're showing the month chart. That's definitely looking pretty good.
27%, and it's been less than a month.
And we were worried about Chainlink as an Oracle play, because a lot of projects were building their own oracles in. Cardano built their own oracle in, and so we were worried that they were going to go by the wayside. But they began to diversify, and they still are a major player with oracles. So I anticipate them to make a run. The last day, the 3%. I mean, because it was front running Bitcoin, I tend to agree with you. If it was moving at 3% over the last day while Bitcoin was also moving, I kind of poo-poo that away. But you saw Bitcoin just was moving within the last couple of hours, and Chainlink's been on the move now for quite some time.
Yeah, so we'll give you a Chainlink prediction on Friday. Fun Friday. We'll see. Hopefully, I'll do better than the last time we get predictions in August, but that's the beauty of the show. Me and Mr. FOMO may not disagree, so you're going to have to tune in and find out. One last thing about Voyager. Voyager people have just started receiving their checks if they opted out of the crypto. So hopefully, if you are waiting for your check, we'll put that in the headline. Mr.
That was beautiful. Seeing that on X last night, seeing people showing off the mail coming through and finally getting their checks. I was really happy to see that, because I know some people have really been struggling, really been anticipating that check coming through. And there were some significant amounts. I mean, we didn't have as nearly as much as some of these people did. And to have just 20% of that come through is really, I mean, it's almost like a windfall after all.
35%.
That's almost like a windfall. I mean, it's like found money after all this time they've waited. And so I was really happy to see those people get their hands on that cash last night. Also, remember, though, phishing emails are still coming through. I think I've gotten 3 so far. After I didn't get one last week, I felt a little left out. Now I'm definitely feeling special. I got 3 of them.
Remember, if it's not from Voyager, not a real email. 99.99% of the emails you're going to get are going to be fraud. Do not, if you're a former Voyager customer, open or click on those links. Even if you don't follow those links, just opening them could be very dangerous. So we've got a huge next 72 hours coming up for Bitcoin leading up to October 1st. I really do believe that. I know you believe that. So stay tuned. We might have an extra bonus show before Friday with MrFOMO dropping something, but we'll definitely be back Friday for you guys, so you guys can set your alarms for Friday morning. For MrFOMO, this is AZcrypto. Have a great day, everybody.
See ya.